All right, we've got some breaking news out of the U.S. to share with you. Reports say the director of the Secret Service has resigned. This comes one day after she was in the hot seat, facing really tough questions about the stunning security failures that led to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump.
Crooks was neutralized after he shot President Trump in the face, Ms. Cheatle. Is he only a threat once he fires the weapon?
As soon as the counter sniper identified that individual, they were able to neutralize them.
Kimberly Cheatle acknowledged the agency's failures, but provided few details when asked about the security breakdown. With me now is Mark Lowrey. He's a former U.S. Secret Service agent, spending 24 years with the Secret Service before retiring as a senior executive service-appointed special agent in charge of the Dallas, Texas district. Good morning. Good to see you again. So we booked you to come on and talk about what happened yesterday at that hearing, but now this report coming in that she has resigned, despite the fact that Cheatle said she wasn't going to. Let's start with your reaction to this breaking news.
I heard it just about the same time you did, just a few minutes ago. And I think I know this had to be a very difficult decision for the director to make personally, but I think it was the right decision to make. I think we need a clean break here and get the concerns with her in yesterday's hearing behind us in the United States and the government, and then we can focus on the mission at hand.
What were you thinking as you watched yesterday and Cheatle refused or didn't or couldn't answer question after question from lawmakers?
Well, like so many Americans, I was frustrated. I could tell the congressmen and congresswomen were frustrated, in many cases angry. I was frustrated and angry, and I think many of the citizens were frustrated and angry. I know there's answers that she most likely already had that she could not or would not share. I would have liked them to go back into a classified briefing and get these answers out. The American people deserve these answers. The American people have lost confidence in their government in the last few years. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. These types of situations are doing nothing to improve our confidence in our United States government. We have to have a competent, transparent, and timely investigation so that we as the people can understand what happened. We need to fix whatever broke down and go forward. It was frustrating. I think she had answers that she could have shared but chose not to. Maybe if it would have been in a classified briefing, that would be different.
Okay, I want to ask you then a little bit more about that, because as I think many people were watching, at first you were kind of getting the sense that, you know, there was some sort of oath of secrecy, whatever, she couldn't share, as you said. But then it devolved into a situation where you started to wonder if she even knew really basic answers to what went wrong. So what was it? Do you think that she shouldn't have gone in front of the cameras? Should it have been done behind closed doors instead of publicly? How could this have gone down in a better way where lawmakers, again, would have been more satisfied with what went down on that Saturday, July 13th?
I'm not questioning what Congress chose to do as far as bring it out in a public hearing, because I know that they know their constituents want transparency. They need to hear. There were answers, I believe, that timelines that she would have had access to that I don't think would have jeopardized the investigation or jeopardized the operations of the Secret Service. It's critical for people to understand this isn't a Sunday afternoon game that went wrong in a Monday morning game film and get ready for next Sunday. The Secret Service is right now 365, 24/7 performing their very important mission for not just America, but for the world. So we need to find out quickly where the breakdown was. This should have never happened. We need to find out quickly what happened. It needs to be corrected, and we got to move forward in a positive manner. There were some hesitancy in answering some questions based upon the ongoing FBI investigation. One of the questions I would ask is, how often is the FBI briefing Director Cheatle or the Secret Service? that should be ongoing 10 days later, should be ongoing at least once a day, if not more.
If she
Because
didn't,
their findings. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if she didn't resign today, and for our viewers who are just joining us, Kimberly Cheatle has resigned from her position as the director of the Secret Service. Do you think she was going to get fired?
You know, I don't know how that process would have worked. I know she works at the leisure of DHS secretary and obviously the president of the United States. I don't know how that would have worked out. I don't know if there's a mechanism. I've heard a number of pathways for Congress to do that. But fortunately, I believe that Director Cheatle made the right decision. Get her out of the picture, get her out of the target zone, if I may, so that we can clearly identify what happened in a timely fashion, correct whatever errors were made, if it's operationally, and then move forward.
I'm going to read something to you in real time. I haven't read this either, so just bear with me, Mark. President Trump, former President Trump, the victim of that attempted assassination attempt, has just posted that the Biden-Harris administration didn't properly protect me, and I was forced to take a bullet for democracy. It was my great honor to do so. You know, I spoke with you, Mark, the day or 2 days after the assassination attempt, and you were praising the Secret Service for the job that they had done and the way they rushed the stage and, you know, threw their bodies over the president and then ultimately whisked him away. What do you make now of what we're hearing from former President Trump, you know, really making this political, blaming the Democrats on the same day that we see the director resigning because obviously she felt that she couldn't handle the pressure of the investigation?
Well, I'm not going to comment what President Trump stated. I do know this, that the agents working the shift did a remarkable job. There was some awkward points, I will admit that. But until somebody's been under gunfire like that, they can't really understand the process. But I think they did an excellent job of shielding him with the body, assessing his injuries, and moving him forward. The agents of the United States Secrets are not a political beast. Yes, they're directors appointed by the secretary, who's appointed by the president. But typically, politics never plays into any of the decisions or the efforts that the Secret Service makes. Clearly, this should not have happened. There was a breakdown somewhere. We need, as the United States government, needs to identify where that breakdown was as soon as possible, correct it to make sure it goes forward in the future without any. We cannot have our elected officials or our candidates running in for elected offices in America under the threat or fear of being assassinated. That's not liberty. That's not order. And we have to get back to making sure that everything these agents have access to as far as resources, whether it's bodies or it's tools, they have to have access to it for every one of the protectees based upon the threat matrix. We cannot have this happening in America.
Mark Lowrey is a former U.S. Secret Service agent. Mark, appreciate you coming back on with us and giving your analysis and responding again to this breaking news